Hi folks, you're with Tacitus Today. Tacitus Today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the recent Pentagon leaks that were allegedly leaked by the 21-year-old young man in the National Guard. Now, straight away, it seemed something was odd here because the media all pretty much speaking as one, with maybe it's one or two exceptions. The media, mainstream globalist controlled media as one, seemed to suddenly have settled on exactly the same narrative. And whenever you see that, then you know that you're looking at propaganda. The reasons for the propaganda are yet to be determined, but it's propaganda. Now, if they're talking about hard facts that on midday of such and such a day, this happened, that's different. But this wasn't. It was a narrative that they were putting out, and it was propaganda. So the young man, the National Guardsman, I think he was 21, who's alleged to have leaked what's claimed to be classified information, how someone of that junior level and really just a part-time sort of the part-time service personnel business could have access to these documents is quite beyond me, but anyway. So just looking at the way that the narrative on the guy was spun, so straight away he was a racist, he's a Christian, he's white, sort of light brown, not black anyway, and he comes from a conservative family that believes in traditional values, and he's supposedly made, although I haven't seen any of these comments, I don't know if any have been divulged, he supposedly made racist and anti-Semitic comments. Now, this pretty much includes the entire battery, the go-to attacks on straight white males. This is it. Christian, white, conservative, and he's a racist and an anti-Semite, and by extension Nazi, of course. So, and that was bang, straight out the gate. That was how it was framed. So I really don't believe that. How do they? What's a racist comment? He said, did the guy say, he doesn't like fajitas or something, or I mean, what was this, right? Well, what was the anti-Semitic comment that was made? Or comments, plural? Did someone else make them? Did he make them? In what reference? How did it come up? So there's it needs to be examined a bit more in depth than it has been. Now, I saw a centre-right news organisation last night doing a story, and the journalist commenting, who's a centre-right journalist, he's no screaming lefty or anything like that. Well, clearly this guy was just a racist, anti-Semitic. He was a right-wing nut job. He's a right-wing, anti-Semitic, racism, racist comments. And the only word the guy didn't drop in there was Nazi. If he'd said, well, and Hitler had coffee with the guy, sat down and coffee with the guy only 5 minutes before the leak. Yeah, Hitler just went out the back door. Yeah. It was just a ridiculous pile on this guy. He's not there to defend himself, of course. So he's a right-wing nut job. What? So anyway, let's just have a closer look at this. Until there's any comments on or it's divulged, what these racist and other anti-Semitic utterances or statements or postings online or whatever it is supposed to be, then it's we don't know that he's a right-wing nut job. We don't know he's anything other than a concerned citizen who's concerned about the way the American military's spending more time on transgender issues than it is defending the country. That may concern some citizens, but any citizen who is concerned about that is a fucking Nazi. So let's have a little bit of a deeper dive into this. Now, looking at the I've been going through the media articles online, and the ones that have been particularly keen and zealous to trash the young man. Now, the articles that have said he's been have really sort of ginned up the anti-Semitic thing. Nearly all the journalists who've done that have themselves been Jewish and activists. And gay, lesbian, and so on. So they're at the cutting edge of the globalist activism, social re-engineering of the Christian West. So they're hardly impartial. They're activists, strident activists, trying to trash, a Christian. Now looking at the again, some of the here's another left-wing rag I've got in front of me here. So a brown Marxist feminist lesbian is saying that this guy's a terrible racist, but doesn't say what he's supposed to have said. How would she know he's a terrible racist? Is she privy to the utterances he's supposed to have made? And if she is privy to it, why not quote them in the article? Instead, she just says he's a racist and doesn't give any sources for this. And then adds the anti-Semitic and the Christian and the conservative, and then by extension, of course, he's a Nazi, that sort of thing. Then here's another one. He's a long-time activist. The guy must be in his 50s now, and he's a Jewish homosexual, very, very much in the activist side of things. Now, I don't care. I mean, he's a journalist, but if he's going to comment on this and super gin up the so-called anti-Semitic nature of what this guy is supposed to have done, without quoting what he's supposed to have said that was anti-Semitic, by the way. So this is very disingenuous, ginning it up without declaring his own activist credentials. So wherever I go and have a look at the media organisations that are trashing this guy, they're not quoting what he said. They just, he's a racist nut job. Okay, fine, maybe he is. But then say what, put in perspective what he did. As I understand it, he's on some online gaming thing with a lot of young guys there, and that's been trawled through. I think some of the allegedly secret documents were put on some platform along, in this arena, and so they've gone through that and managed to dig up an alleged racist company. It must be pretty tame stuff, because they haven't said what it is. If there was some real sort of smoking gun type utterances or statements or postings that they could have got their hands on, they would have quoted it by now. So again, all these journalists that are piling on, he's a racist, he's a Christian, he's this, he's that, Hitler. They're not quoting anything. It's all like an association thing. The reverse could be done. You could say, well, the people are piling in on him are also compromised. I mean, like Merrick Garland's a real custodian of the rule of law and due legal process. I mean, give me a fucking break. So anyway, looking at this in its entirety, maybe the guy is all the things they're saying, but why are they all singing exactly from the same hymn sheet? Why are they not saying what he's done? And why is it relevant that he's a conservative or a Christian? Because every fucking article mentions that, as if it's somehow relevant. What about the reverse? Well, why don't we talk about the reverse of the people that are trashing him? So they're all Jewish lesbians, for example. Why aren't they doing that? But anyway, that's my take on it. And until some hard facts come out, then it's hard to say. The idea he was motivated, the leaker was motivated by some sort of hatred because he's a hysterical Nazi. That's bullshit, absolute bullshit. And we know it is, just coming straight out of the gate. Now, what may have motivated him is the concerns of what's happening in the United States in a number of areas, including the rule of law, due legal process, election integrity, all sorts of things. And any concerned citizen has a right to ask questions and demonstrate some sort of concern by that. I don't recommend that leaking secrets is the way to go about it, but But he is, as I understand it, he uncovered serious lies that the media were telling, the government and the media were telling the public, and sought to bring the accurate information to a wider audience. Now, if it's secret and the guy signed some sort of Secrets Act, then he's in breach of, if indeed those things did happen, he or anyone who did it is in breach of the law. But when it's Bradley Manning, Chelsea Manning, or some leftist gay lesbian does it, then they're a hero, they're a whistleblower fighting back against the Nazis. But if someone who's a Christian does it, then they become the Nazi, and the other guys become the good guys. So we live in a fucked up world. What can I tell you? You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.